What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Mother Loving Geek Nation? You're currently tuning in to the 60th anniversary CultPop podcast special, episode 53.
We've been around since 1963.
That was something.
Yeah.
Those 60 years.
Yeah.
Flew by. We look good.
I look. Yeah.
Well, some better than others, but yeah.
For what the fuck do you mean by that?
Yeah.
It was at Self-Dig.
I still don't agree with it.
At you. But it's a show where we talk about movie and TV and comics and breaking news and hailing the meep and all the other things that scratch your nerdy itch. We're coming to you live from Young Chunk HQ.
Young Chunk.
Oh, Len's not here anymore, so he's not here to do the Young Chunk. A bomb-ass podcast production space in Manayunk, PA. I'm so good at this, you guys. I'm the Dalek host. Dalek.
Yeah, they didn't
Is
come up.
Dalek an adjective, though?
It is a noun. It is a proper noun.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm your Dalek host, Johnny Destructo.
It is a descriptor, like it's a species,
Oh,
right?
it is?
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA 19127. We are a rad-ass comic shop that will sell you stuff if you buy it. That's a pretty good deal. I don't know where else you're going to get that kind of deal. With me tonight to exterminate are...
Huh? Oh, me, Brian.
Noel.
Hi.
And Brian.
I already said.
Ah, fuck. Also in the booth is our trusty producer, Dylan. If anything goes wrong or goes right, which is less likely, remember, Dylan did it.
Wait,
Yeah.
we are under Dylan's complete control?
Dylan.
Or if it just goes average, it wasn't Dylan.
Everything is Dylan's fault.
Interesting.
All roads lead to Dylan.
Also
Dylan's all the way down. Please feel free to comment,
Dylan's
like,
all the way down.
subscribe, and
Dylan
hit the bell.
down-faced dog.
Hit the bell.
His dog. Oh, a new
That wasn't
nickname.
that good.
Yeah.
But I
They caught me
appreciate
off
it.
guard
Yeah.
enough. And hit the bell icon so that you can get much more of whatever this is. Also, we love a little back and forth, in and out. So email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com and chime in like Sam is in the chat. Face blue wide eyes, :
Face blue, wide eyes. I would
Face
think it
blue,
would be
wide eyes.
intoned.
Face blue.
Is it
Clear hearts.
Face blue,
Don't
wide eyes.
lose?
Lose.
Is it?
Can't.
Is that an emoji that in and out?
No
yeah,
time for the old in and out today,
We
love. I just
do
come to read
have
the meter.
time. We do have time for the old in out. We
We
would
do.
love it if you sent us
Yeah.
your correspondence
It's true.
Yeah.
We have so much time, you guys.
for the old in out and other stuff.
I'm not sure what happened with that emoji, says Sam. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I
It's a
thought
YouTube
it was
thing.
an emoji that like it alt texted
Yeah.
the emoji.
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting because I thought of it as like, that kind of primal descriptor, like of emotion, like face blue, wide eyes.
So it's
Oh, yeah.
it's like
And
the
it
id
is
version
that.
of an emoji instead
Right.
of it being like
Yeah.
some sort of
Yeah.
illustrative representation. It's just feel hard,
Yeah.
happy.
It's
is
interesting
blue
that-
wide eye.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how we think of it
Caveman.
as being.
Yeah.
Yes. Very interesting.
She uses YouTube because Facebook is wonky. Sometimes
All right.
I do something that's kind of annoying. If I'm responding to someone on Facebook or Twitter or something, sometimes I will literally type out point going over the head GIF.
And what?
Instead of actually just posting that GIF,
Right.
I'm making a point that
Do
way.
you do it with
Oh.
asterisks or with quotes or?
Yeah.
Wait, this is
No, no,
this
not-
is
oh, yeah.
intentional.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
oh,
do it on
okay.
purpose.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Before there was a good GIF and or emoji for Chef's Kiss, I would literally write out
Chef's
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's cool.
And sometimes I would just find a chef and kiss him.
This has been pre-cell phone internet, brought to you by
Old heads.
iPhone USB-C chargers.
You guys, that was the intro, and I
Oh.
think we did okay. I feel like we could do better in our second
It's
segment,
like a 6
which
out of 10.
I like to call "What You Been Up to This Week?" Huh? In which I will ask my favorite gentleman here what they've been up to this week. Huh? I'm going to start off with Brian.
Hey.
Brian, what have you been up to this week? Huh?
JD, I'm glad you asked. I was.
Wait, threw you a
did you-
curveball
Did
there.
you not know
I
it
was-
was coming?
Yeah,
Well, you can never be sure.
that's
right?
true.
You did say that you would before the show, and we
Yeah.
talked about it. And but I don't
Make
know
notes.
what's going to happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, what I've been up to this week, I watched.
Huh?
I watched the season finale of the season 4 of Lower Decks.
Season finale. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So season 4, Lower Decks, the animated Star Trek TV show,
Airing on Paramount Plus.
airing on Paramount Plus, that takes place a little after the last Star Trek: The Next Generation movie, and references like in their timeline.
Yeah.
It takes place a little bit after that, and references like all of Star Trek in an amazing way. And it has so much fun with Star Trek, but it makes fun of it when it makes fun of it. It makes fun of it in the way that like we would make fun of it. In a very loving, like, we love Star Trek. And
like
this is
I
funny.
run up and I give you a wedgie and I poke you
No,
in your eyes and I go, nerd.
No.
No.
I mean, I see what you're
Yeah.
doing, but it's not unlike Shaun of the Dead.
Oh.
It is
I
actual.
get that reference.
It's an actual zombie movie,
Mhm.
but the characters inside of it are funny and have funny situations. So the way that Lower Decks rolls is it is very much Star Trek, but the characters themselves derive the comedy and or the absurdity in the
Very-
world. It's not a parody show.
Nice.
Now, Noel, we were talking about this the other day, and Noel mentioned a really interesting observation about, like I said, they reference all the other shows. So all the characters are aware of it. And Noel pointed out, especially Boimler is like a super fan
Yeah.
of Starfleet and the events that have taken place.
I see.
Right?
I see.
So, because all of these, you know, in almost every Star Trek show, if not every Star Trek show, they open, except Lower Decks, they open with a captain's log, usually, or whatever. So these are all recorded and are big deals in their universe.
Yeah.
So Boimler, especially, but all of them, are well aware of like the details of various episodes
Yeah.
and continuity changes.
Huh.
Like there's an early episode in the original series. There's this white ape with like a horn coming out of its chest, and they call it 2 or 3 different things in the course of that episode.
Oh.
Or like the title is spelled one way, it's Magano and 2 other things, Kagamo or something like that. And so I don't remember what that joke was now, but they make a joke about that in season 1 and like, or just recall it 2 different things. This past season, they had an episode where they're stuck in a cave, which is very common because cave sets are pretty cheap. And they're going out, they're like, I love when we get stuck in caves. Like the moistness, the flat floors, because they're all filmed on sound
They're all
stages.
the same set,
Right.
probably, yeah.
And you know, so it has that. It's great. The season finale, without spoiling it, did an excellent callback to the original Lower Decks episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, which showed 4 ensigns.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that the show itself was a reference to a thing that had already happened.
The title and
that there was a
sort
Lower
of
Decks
concept.
Yeah, I had no
just,
idea.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the like the rest of the crew.
Yeah, like
Not
that's
the,
where it
not
gets
the
its
bridge.
title.
Yeah.
Right, because every Star Trek show focuses on the primary
Yeah, of course.
people on that ship or station. So there was an episode of Next Generation that had like 4 ensigns, and it was called Lower Deck, so that's where
Yeah.
it gets its name. And they tie into that episode in a very cool way in the finale.
I will when I get to it. I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
not understand those references.
You might. It's not.
I've never watched. I have
subtle.
not watched all of the Next Generation.
Did you see Lower Decks?
No.
No, then
Well,
you won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm on halfway through season 2 of Lower Decks.
Okay.
It took me 4 or 5 episodes to really gel with it, to like understand
I've
the
heard
tone.
that a lot. Yeah.
But when I did, it's like it goes down like water. It's very fun. But it's because I enjoy the main character, one of the main characters, the 2 main characters, Boimler and why am I
shit,
blanking
Mariner.
on her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mariner. Boimler, played by Jack Quaid, is charmingly nerdy, and the only reason why the show to me works, having not having a encyclopedic knowledge of all things Star Trek, is because he is so ingrained and such a fucking nerd about everything that he's your character to explain shit, and it's in character.
Yeah.
So he just like brings you
Yeah,
through
yeah.
everything.
It's like,
And
like
it's-
the time when Cisco
Yeah.
he went down to that planet and he found
it's-
the, you know, yeah.
it shouldn't work, but it does. It's just
Yeah.
wholly natural because he is such a socially
Like, he's
awkward
got-
guy.
Oh
He's
yeah,
Jack
that's true
Quaid.
too.
He's just Jack Quaid.
They're like he's got action figures of captains and ships, you know, that kind of thing sometimes.
Oh, that's
And
cute that there's action figures in continuity
that. Of these people.
You know,
Yeah.
like I just imagine he listens to old captain's logs like podcasts.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, wow.
They
like
may have
he-
even said that he
Does
does
he?
that,
Yeah.
maybe. But
That's cute.
But they all still, and they've got like a recruitment poster with a character who is currently being played on Strange New Worlds. But they're all very good at what they do. It's still like Starfleet values. They solve things in that way. They're not screw ups. They're very good. They're on a second contact ship, which is, the Enterprise is out there meeting new aliens for the first time. And then at the end, they'll be like, in a month, we'll send a ship to check on you and see how this solution is going. And so this is them.
Yeah.
They're
They
the
stop by and they do
boring
stuff.
bureaucrat shit.
Yeah. But they get into some crazy shit.
That's cute.
And
Sci-fi's happening.
it's still going on.
Yeah.
Which I always wondered, right? Well, sometimes. Is the Enterprise... I'm constantly wondering this. But anyway, is the Enterprise unique in that it's running into a bunch of crazy stuff? Or do all the ships, is all this stuff going on all the time? And that's what it's like out there. And I guess that's what it's like out there. They also guest starred on Strange New Worlds in live action.
That's piqued my interest. That sounds cool.
Awesome. It was awesome.
Have you finished Strange New Worlds or gotten?
I have
through it?
watched 1 or 2 or 3 episodes of Lower Decks,
Okay.
and then I have watched the first episode of Strange New Worlds.
Did you like them? Did you like Strange New Worlds?
It was cute.
Okay.
It wasn't. The one that got me into Star Trek was
Discovery.
and it was only because of
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
And he
Absolutely.
is on Discovery. You saw that part where they kind of... Did you watch all of Discovery? Or
Yeah, you
all
watched
of the Michelle
season 2,
Yeoh
right?
part?
Like,
Yeah.
all of season 2 is basically
Captain
a
Pike.
backdoor Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched all
Okay,
that stuff,
yeah.
which leads into Strange New Worlds. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I watched the first episode, and I was like, oh, that's cute.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't grab me, but
It gets...
I keep wanting to go back because everyone talks about it so
There's some
highly.
really interesting stuff.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's great. It's... I mean, I love all the new Star Trek. It is the most classic Star Trek of them.
Yeah.
Like the style of storytelling and
How
that
did
kind
you
of thing.
How did you feel about the 3rd season of Picard? Because I finally finished it.
I loved it.
I
Loved it more than the other two.
liked it despite myself, though.
Yeah.
Like, it was so...
referential.
There's an aspect to it that's trash. It was very trashy.
Then it's just like bringing up stuff that you want to see,
Yeah,
that you're
in
like,
pulpy storytelling kind of way. It's trashy. It's like, we've got this bag of toys. Let's just keep throwing these toys in your face.
I
Like,
see
there's a trashy... I didn't say it's not effective,
Yeah,
and I didn't
yeah.
say I didn't like it. But, like, as soon as I kind of thought about it for more than 5 minutes after each episode, I was just like, that was manipulative. But all right, let's go to the next one.
Plus, there were
Like,
certain things
it's
that
not-
happened that I was very happy
I
to have occurred and to have
I've only seen
I
the
wonder-
first season of Picard.
I
and
wonder
I thought it was great.
how
was good.
effective it would be if you didn't watch all 7 seasons of
I didn't.
TNG. And
You know
all
what?
8 seasons
Tamara
of-
liked it actually, which I was really wondering,
Yeah.
would she enjoy this?
Because
And-
it's not like it's confusingly referential,
Right.
but it does rely very heavily on emotional beats
Like,
of
there was
all
a
these
lot of
characters
cool
that
shit.
existed.
Oh,
before.
yeah.
Not even plot wise, just emotional connections,
Right.
And
Right.
inside jokes
I
about.
mean, I
those
found
emotional
it to be
connections.
effective. Are you talking about season
Season
1?
3.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
particular season. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Never
Season
mind.
1 is its own. Season 1 and
Yeah,
2
yeah.
are their own thing with their own cast. It's just
Yeah.
Picard with maybe some cameos.
Yeah.
Season 3 is literally the entire
Generation.
surviving crew of the Next
Yeah.
Generation
Oh,
shows up.
oh wow,
awesome.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was cool, but like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
without the other Next Generation stuff, no, that's not what I was there for. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when Tamara did like it, and she's seen 2 or 3 episodes of
Ahsoka.
Next Generation.
like
kinda.
Ahsoka, right? That was your problem with Ahsoka. Is like
Well-
it's Rebels
that
season
was that
6.
was the top problem with Ahsoka. The
Yeah.
rest of the problems were the pacing,
Yeah.
the direction,
Yeah.
the special effects
Yeah.
for some scenes.
And this one, no one's really thinking. Like, there are people that would just watch this, but it makes no mistake that this
Yeah.
is like, oh,
Yeah.
it's Next Generation.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
season,
What's the name of-
there's more of it.
my favorite character was that asshole captain. What's the name
Oh, he
of it?
turned out to be awesome. Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw
William
was the best.
Who's great.
The new characters are so good. Like Michael is so great.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
I
Michael.
like
The
new
current
Trek. I
Star
like new
Wars-
Trek. Like
yeah.
Trek.
New Trek.
Trek.
New Trek.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Hey Noel.
Yeah.
Besides the new Trek, what have you been up to this week, huh?
Well, I've been off for a couple of weeks, and I had time to catch up on the reading.
Mm-hmm.
I
Nerd.
caught up on a lot of things, but what I want to talk about tonight is a book that I did not think that I would enjoy, but I did.
Mm-hmm. Why did you not think that you would enjoy this book?
Because I have a tenuous relationship with this writer's other work.
Yeah.
Mm.
And by tenuous, I mean it's either fine or boring.
Yeah.
To me.
We are of the same mind.
It's either like, oh, that's fine, or I don't want to read that.
Yeah.
Like there's no, but He is on like every book.
Yeah, he's writing so much stuff right now.
So
Sweet.
I
Who
just
is
had
this person?
it's Joshua Williamson. This is
Oh.
Superman Volume 1 by Joshua Williamson with art by Jamal Campbell. The arc is called Supercorp. And this was wonderful. This
It
was
was.
very wonderful. I would not have known. So like I gave it a shot because of Jamal Campbell of Far Sector and Naomi. His art is absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
So I was like, you know what? Even if it's just fine, Joshua Williamson, it's amazing Jamal Campbell art. So let's go. And I thought this was delightful as all holy hell. The very beginning starts with Superman taking down Livewire. And
Classic villain.
And he keeps there's text boxes. They're obviously not him talking, but someone's talking to him. And you find out it's actually Lex Luthor talking to himself to him from prison for like miles and miles away. Because Superman over the years has trained himself to always kind of hone in on specific sounds.
Yeah.
John's heartbeat, Lois's heartbeat, and Lex's voice.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So and Lex knows this, so he's in prison seeing stuff in the news and he's just giving Superman tips and he's like, stop it. Just effing stop it.
And I think they even got that a little bit from Bendis's run, didn't they? Because weren't a bunch of the people they had talked about, there was a group, a gang in there, and they were like, you don't say these words.
Yeah, the Invisible
Super-
Mafia, which actually also Red Mist shows up towards the end
Oh,
of this.
does she?
Yeah.
So you and I talked about this on Fresh Floppies, our Wednesday morning comic book review show, and we were both surprised at how much we enjoyed the first issue. I went about halfway through this, I think, and I get distracted, but it is great so
Yeah,
far.
it's really fun. But then it with the whole conceit of the first issue and then going forward is that there are many secrets in Metropolis. There's a whole set of secrets in Metropolis, secret heroes, secret time periods, and something happened in the Daily Planet that's why we don't know anything about it. And Lex has signed over everything in LexCorp and all of its resources to Superman.
Yeah.
So it's Supercorp.
Interesting.
And he's not allowed to not take it because if he doesn't, half of Metropolis will lose their jobs. All of the like he
if
basically
you don't run this corporation, I'll fire
he
everybody.
basically blackmails Superman into basically like the Angel Wolferman Hart thing. You have all these resources that were once nefarious.
Yeah.
Do something
You
with
can
them.
do whatever you want.
And
Which
you
I
can't-
loved.
and you can't not.
I love
Like,
that
yeah.
season.
It's
That was cool.
That's great.
it is turning out really fun. I'm 5 issues in an annual. This is the first volume. It's a nice meaty fun read. Jamal Campbell has not done the art since then. I think it's been fill-ins, but he's still doing all the covers and he's still listed as like the so hopefully he comes back soon. But yeah, it's a really fun read.
Yeah, man. I agree. I'm not a big Superman guy.
Right.
Every so often, it's like the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer. Like he's just one of those characters that every so often I'll dip in, I'll check in on, and then peace out pretty quickly. But this one, let's unwrap that.
So the thing it's
Got
it's
distracted.
basically because he now runs Supercorp or is the head of Supercorp. He doesn't have to deal with his villains. He has to also deal with Lex's villains.
Oh.
So like it's basically like a group of mad scientists.
Who are Lex's
and
villains?
it's you don't know them yet. It's really
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's fun. It's very fun.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it makes sense that Lex would make enemies.
Yeah.
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 It's a fun
Not
ass
just
book.
good guys.
Yeah,
Right.
but also other
Yeah.
pricks. I can't wait to finish this. This is
Yeah, and it's
Very
it's
fun.
ongoing. I think they're up to like issue 9 or
Something like
something. Yeah.
Yeah, so Joshua Williamson, the writer, is the guy who was like very either boring or mid. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths.
He
I
did
thought was a
700
bummer.
issues of The Flash.
Yep,
Which
which was fine.
was it? I tried
Occasionally.
I read the first like 7 or 8 issues and I just
Yeah, fell asleep.
a little. But some people fucking love it.
Yeah, it was
I
fine.
when there's this is not like a disparagement of actually like his talent. He's obviously incredibly talented because he's very gainfully employed at DC writing everything. But I always feel like when there's writers like this or artists like this where it just doesn't do anything for me. But everyone else seems to love it. I feel like I'm broken.
Yeah.
Like what am I not seeing? But this definitely
Yeah,
is it.
this is one of the good ones.
Hey, JD.
Hey, what?
I think we're gonna move on. We're not gonna talk about.
We should talk about.
What have you been up to? The time period previous to this time period we're currently in.
Huh.
Moi? My friends
Who?
out there in TV land, have been watching Blue Eye Samurai with my wife.
Oh.
It's streaming on Netflix.
Oh.
A master of the sword lives life in disguise while seeking revenge in Edo period Japan.
Edo.
No. A series
Is it
No, I thought it was Edo too.
Oh, and it was incorrect?
Yeah.
Interesting.
A series created and written by husband and wife team Michael Green and Amber Noizumi, and animated by the French company Blue Spirit. I had no idea that this was in the works. It dropped. I heard nothing about it, and then all of a sudden, boom! A lot of
There it
folks
was.
were talking about it. People were like, "Oh, have you checked out Blue Eye Samurai? I should really check that out." Because it's one of you're flipping through Netflix and you go boop boop boop. Oh, look, there's a new anime. I don't care.
It's
a
got
Netflix
a cool
anime.
title card.
It does.
That really
yeah.
has intrigued me. Yeah.
Um,
and Netflix was pushing it too, I think.
Oh, were they?
Somebody was pushing it, or it showed up on the Amazon.
Netflix
thing,
was
or-
pushing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, someone had said it was good, so I went, all right, I'll try it.
Yeah.
And holy shit. It's so good.
Is that right?
It's so good. I think I tweeted yesterday that it's the best thing that Netflix has done this year. It is 8 episodes, and it's CGI animation, which I don't generally jive with. I prefer like 2D animation. But it's so beautiful that I kind of have to give it a pass.
Cool.
It's so fun. I don't want to ruin too much of it because there's actually some nice surprises. I will say the animation is fantastic. You could take a screenshot of any establishing shot in this and then just make it a wallpaper and
Nice.
just stare at it because
Nice.
it's so gorgeous. The voice acting is really on
Good.
really good. Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Hey,
Thanks for having my back there.
I got you. Bro.
It's just it's hard to say enough stuff without spoiling it. There are some secrets. The choreography is some of the best fight choreography that I have seen
That's
in
pretty cool.
years. Apparently, the choreographer worked on The Matrix and actually filmed herself doing a lot of the moves so that the animators would have something to reference.
It's
very-
interesting when animation has really good fight choreography.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
when it's good enough that you notice it,
Yeah.
that it's like, oh, that's really good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I can't recommend Blue Eye Samurai enough. It is
Cool.
awesome.
Nice.
I'm sad that we're done watching it. I will say it seems like hopefully there'll be a season 2.
Nice.
It's not
How
a
much
one
is
and
there?
done.
How much is there of it?
8 episodes so far.
How long
I wanna
are
watch
each
it.
episode?
About an hour.
Yeah, I
So
sat down
long.
to watch it the
It
other
is long.
day.
It is
And
long.
I wanted to watch it, but I didn't have an hour. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'll watch it. And then it was 51 minutes. And I was
like,
like, I don't have 51 minutes either. So
Yeah.
I had to go.
And it's have you ever seen Gendy Kartakovsky's
Samurai Jack?
Samurai Jack?
Absolutely.
Pieces of it.
Oh,
You know how
cool.
it sort
I
of
love
takes its
Love it.
time
Yes.
and there's lingering shots
Yeah.
and sometimes things are in slow motion and
Yeah.
it's sort of that show feels like it's an
It's
experience.
like, yeah. And
Like
this
you're
is
not
like
just
that
you're
at
not
all.
just zipping through it. It's much like that.
It is much like that.
Much like that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I loved that show
Yeah.
personally. That it's an experience. It's to date, not potent, but
Yeah.
like has that
until
serene,
the
like a
until the
serene-
fights come.
Oh, then it's all
Yeah.
anything could happen.
Highly recommend. You should check it out.
Right. And you know what's interesting?
No.
Nope.
That you're about to.
Nope.
So I
don't
find
know.
it interesting. What we chose for what you've been up to this week on, given the topic of conversation, the main topic, I have done Star Trek, Superman, and a Samurai, which I feel relates very strongly to Doctor Who.
What?
Right?
Oh,
Kind of like-
in a Ronin kind of way, but not in a
Yeah.
Oh, I
violence
see.
kind of way.
No, but I mean, like those three things, in the Ronin kind of way, the wandering noble person, right? I don't know if this samurai wanders or if there's even
He
an actual
wanders.
samurai.
I mean,
he does.
And he's got a companion.
This is great.
yeah.
So so we've got Star Trek, Superman, all these like
Holy
great
shit, you're
moral
right.
characters and fitting the science fiction and hero and wandering about and
Nice catch.
befriending. Thank you.
Well done.
Oh, thank you very much.
So,
I told you
yeah,
it was interesting.
let's not waste that segue.
We are here to discuss Dr. Whomst, the Star Beast, which is the 60th anniversary special one.
Yes.
Yes,
Something
there
like
are
that?
there
Yeah.
are 3 episodes of the 60th anniversary special.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Written by Russell T. Davies from a story by Pat Mills and Dave Gibbons. Oh, cool.
Yeah, this
of
is
Watchmen.
The Meep story is based off of the Marvel UK comics by Pat Mills. And
Yeah, I
Dave
was
Gibbons.
quite surprised to see Dave. I was like, wait, Dave Gibbons?
Wait,
Oh, right.
Marvel UK Doctor Who?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah.
I looked it up. We can talk about it after.
Yeah.
Directed by Rachel Talalay, starring David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and Yasmine Finney. The Doctor is caught in a fight to the death as a spaceship crash lands in London. As the battle wreaks havoc, destiny is converging on the Doctor's old friend, Donna. Now, Noel, who put together the notes every week, and thank him for it, he actually was like, what he wrote in here, what is Doctor Who? From Wikipedia.
Ah.
For those of us, like myself, who are not Whovians, Doctor Who is a British science fiction television series broadcast by the BBC since 1963. The series depicts the adventures of a Time Lord called the Doctor, an extraterrestrial being who appears to be human. The Doctor explores the universe in a time-traveling spaceship called the TARDIS. The TARDIS exterior appears as a blue British police box, which was a common sight in Britain in 1963 when the series first aired. With various companions, the Doctor combats foes, works to save civilizations, and helps people in need.
And the TARDIS stands for, what does the TARDIS stand? Time and
and-
relative
yeah.
dimensions in space.
Yeah.
I did notice it was always in caps. All
Yeah,
caps.
Yeah,
TARDIS-
it's nice.
and it's
initialism.
it's always spelt out Doctor. His name is Doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
their
Or the
name is
Doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah,
The Doctor.
Or the, yeah.
It's a definitive article.
So his pronouns
Yes.
are
The.
right.
Yes. Oh,
Okay. I have watched 3 episodes of the Christopher Eccleston Doctor Who season 1, maybe 4.
Mhm.
And I've tried, and I think you guys actually made me for the show watch Don't Blink or Blink. Blink.
Yeah.
Blink. Yeah.
I
But you shouldn't.
shit.
No,
That-
that
that's
was
what I did wrong.
It was the wrong move.
So I have dipped my toes into a handful of Doctor Who episodes.
You dipped your toes into a handful of them.
Yeah. Like a toeful. And it just never, I was like, that's cute enough. It never really grabbed me. But I was delighted to hear that this was kind of a jumping, it meant to be a jumping on point, right?
I would argue that every new iteration
Iteration.
is a jumping on point.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
It's very much like comics in that way. Every time a new creative team jumps on,
Yeah.
even though the continuity before that matters, it's always new user friendly.
So,
Yeah.
going off of that, when did you jump in?
So the New Who,
Like
Yeah.
NU?
yeah,
Yeah.
New Who,
Yeah.
New Who started in 2007.
It's something like
2006,
5,
That's the
2007.
Christopher Eccleston.
That's the
around
Christopher
that.
Eccleston.
Eccleston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was, fuck. This is. I'm sorry to tell a short story long. Growing up, on PBS on Saturday nights at 11 o'clock, right before at 11 o'clock was reruns of Red Dwarf.
2005 says Opera
2005.
Ghost.
2005. Thank you.
Nice.
Thanks, OG.
So when I was growing up, 11 o'clock on Saturday nights, I would watch Red Dwarf,
heard
which
of
is the it's also a science fiction sitcom, a BBC science fiction sitcom. It's very weird. I don't know what. I think I late at night saw it once and then kept trying to
Yeah.
watch it. And there's no internet. I couldn't look
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
up. There's no VHS or DVD copies available in America. It was just something that public access had the rights to,
Yeah.
and they played it.
Yeah.
So, unbeknownst to me, before that, at 10 o'clock, was a Doctor Who episode.
I didn't realize that is that prime time or is that 8 o'clock?
10 o'clock. Prime time's 8.
8 to 10.
But this is also Florida public access.
Oh, I see.
It was PBS in Florida. So
every
like,
time is prime time.
yeah. So it was like their Saturday night block. So
Yeah.
I would always end up catching the last 5 minutes
Oh yeah.
of this very, very cheap looking
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
And this old man is a hero. I'm like, whatever. So I pay no mind. But
that's for the old people.
it always stayed in my head. Like Doctor Who is a thing.
Yeah.
Doctor Who is a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And then in 96 or maybe it was late 80s, early 90s, Fox Television produced a Doctor Who movie as a backdoor pilot
Yes.
for a new American produced version of Doctor Who.
An unsuccessful back.
Very unsuccessful.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It's just a TV movie
Yeah.
that was hard to get for a long time.
And yet the doctor that played him
Paul
in
McGann?
it is awesome.
Oh,
And
yeah?
has
Fantastic.
since come back a few times and does a
Yeah.
lot of audio dramas.
Was
but-
that his only appearance
Yeah,
as
his-
the,
well,
and
the
only.
doctor?
His second now.
his second
Live
now.
action.
Right.
Yeah, but
right.
at the time, he had one.
That's what
he
I
had
mean.
one
He
off,
just
yeah.
he showed up and was like, oh,
So,
fuck.
And everybody,
I
yeah.
guess I'm done.
96,
For some
thank
reason,
you.
that didn't go over.
Featuring
1996.
one of the best
I was
doctors.
right, and I second guessed myself. Thank you, Opera Ghost. So I became like we do as nerds, like the idea of like a horror movie that you couldn't find or this or that. I kind of became obsessed with the idea of Doctor Who
Mhm.
without having any access to it.
Yeah.
So
You
when
didn't ever think to just tune into that channel a little earlier?
well, I mean, we're talking like
Right.
on Fox, no,
Right,
and then
right.
and
I
then
got
also
you.
too, I was obsessed with like the new, and is there more new? Not I'm
Right.
gonna go back to watch
Oh,
1963
because this
episodes.
was late. This was much later.
This
I got you.
this
Right,
was
right,
like
right.
this was like a good 10 years later.
Okay, gotcha.
So when they announced the new Who in 2005, it was a BBC production, and they only played reruns of it like 6 months later on the Sci-Fi Channel on like Saturday nights late.
Uh-huh.
So at Barnes, I was still I wanted to see it. I read things online. I wanted to see it. So I spent $60 fucking dollars, which was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still is a lot, but it was a lot, especially for like a broke college kid. For the first season on DVD at Barnes and Noble, because Barnes and Noble was the only place selling BBC DVDs.
I'm sorry. Is this the 2005 one?
Yeah.
Christopher
This is
Eccleston.
Christopher
So
Great.
I
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
sight unseen bought that season.
Yeah.
And
I hated the first 4 episodes.
no.
Oh,
I
the 4
couldn't-
that I've seen.
I couldn't fucking
Those are the
like.
ones.
I was like, "This is," and
Ooh, the
somebody
one from the future Earth.
somebody had told. I really liked the second episode.
The
I,
stretchy
the,
face.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the face of Bo and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get it in so much
Uh-huh.
as it is a cultural language that I was not used to.
Uh-huh.
It is a very British show,
Yeah.
especially the Eccleston season.
Yeah.
Like the slang language, just the way that it is even presented is very British.
Yeah.
So it just took me a while, but then something happened at the Dalek episode
Ah. Good
where it really clicked,
Yeah.
and then I just ate it up to the point where I was basically crying at the end of that season
Yeah.
because it's a really good click at the end
yeah.
of that season. Yeah,
Okay.
It's good.
and then I was just hooked forever.
So
Oh,
what
yeah.
episode is the Dalek episode?
I think it's like 5 or
5 or
6.
6.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
so
it's
just-
midway through.
I'll watch up to that, and
It's
hopefully it'll grab me.
It's a
Or
good
just watch that.
yeah.
It's not that good. You know, like you could do that.
And then I just became enamored with it.
Yeah.
Like I love Doctor Who so much.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
funny. I didn't
so
realize you
much.
were in. I thought you were a more recent convert. I didn't
Well, I mean,
realize
it's
you
been
were-
that
it's been
was
almost 20 years,
in
but
2005.
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, more recent. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got the meaning of the word recent.
But I would get I actually still have those old DVD sets all the way up through the Tenet specials.
Cool.
The halfway season where
Yeah.
it wasn't a full
Yeah.
season, it was just four
and
episodes,
it was like,
4
yeah,
TV
it was
movies
a weird,
basically.
like,
yeah.
We've got more, but we know it's it.
Yeah,
and,
I
but
love
they're
that.
long. Yeah.
I love Who so much. So
Yeah.
like early on when my wife and I were dating, I just suggested try Matt Smith, and she also became a fan. So it's kind of our thing now. I love Doctor Who. Love.
She has chimed into the chat. Our first Christmas dating, I sent Doctor Who chocolates to Noel and his family. They were chocolates shaped like Daleks.
There was
LOL.
also a TARDIS chocolate in there. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's good. Because otherwise that would be a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
You know, with no TARDIS around, a bunch of Daleks, you don't know what's going to happen.
And then Opera Go says, thanks to the audios, he has the record for most stories of any Doctor.
Interesting.
Paul McGann.
Oh, I did
Yeah.
not know that. Although he may have told me that is friend of the show, Rob
The-
Palecchio.
Oh, hey, Rob.
Yeah.
The
I
beauty
like calling you OG.
the beauty of Doctor
That's
Who,
good.
and you could double up on this, is that
Yeah.
it's narratively it never has to end.
Yes.
They have created
Brilliant
storytelling
device.
storytelling
Yes.
devices that allow multiple actors, multiple characters to overlap each other and return and leave in
Yeah.
infinite.
Oh, and
Yeah.
just the main character
Yeah.
Yeah.
is frequently refreshed, but still the same character and can be played by anyone.
That was one of the. Oh, hey, Robert Monroe.
Hey.
That was the main thing that impressed me about when people would tell me about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. So he just regenerates and there's a new
Mhm.
actor playing him. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a workaround.
Right. And in story, he's the same guy, but different personality traits will come to the fore. Like
yeah.
he acts so
I noticed that in
different
this
actors
episode.
play him differently.
He said something,
exactly. Yeah.
and he stops and he goes, "Oh, do I say something
Right,
like
that's
that
what
now?"
I do now, and that's
Oh.
every regeneration. He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
noticing new things about himself,
I like that.
which is interesting.
It's like just whittle away, but also every single cell in his or her body regenerates to a new one, so it maintains the memory and or the template, but it's a completely different person. And then they just it's constantly yes-anding. The show is constantly yes-anding each season before it.
Yeah,
I love it.
and they've always done good references that are still cool, even if you don't know what they're talking about. I think throughout this show.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're absolutely right. Even stuff that I've forgotten or don't, whatever. They'll bring it up on the show or they'll make a side comment, and I still feel like I'm kind of in on it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
Like
and
some classic
yeah.
Who thing. So I never watched the classic Who. I remember seeing it once, part of one once. Well, before that, what did Robert Monroe Jr. said?
Yeah.
We had watched Doctor Who as a family after Blink aired. My kids and I were running errands. On the way home, I drove into a cemetery. My kids thought that there were weeping angels everywhere and freaked out when I got out of the car.
That's adorable.
So, yeah, I wonder
blink.
what happened.
Yeah.
That was an excellent episode.
Yeah.
Blink. Wonderful. One of my two favorites. Both of which star David Tennant as the Doctor. But so I have a memory of seeing part of one episode once, and it was, I think, the Tom Baker stuff. He was the longest running and most famous Doctor before
Until
David
Tennant, yeah.
I mean, Tennant's not longer running, but
More episodes.
Is that right?
Yep.
Interesting.
Tennant has more episodes because the seasons back then were just like 5 episodes
How
long,
about that?
and so the way that Who used to be up until New Who
Yeah.
was they were basically miniseries. It was 5 or 6
Right, right.
episodes, one story, and then they would tell another one like
How
a
about
year or two later.
Oh, it's also very British.
It was
Yeah.
very British. Yeah.
Instead of a season, it's
Yeah.
So Tennant
word?
has like the most time as the Doctor.
Oh, how about that?
Even if it's like less amount of years.
Yeah, yeah.
associated
I
with
like
it.
him as an
interesting.
actor, so that makes me happy.
He's great.
Yeah.
I think he's great. He's my favorite Doctor.
Yeah,
But
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker was. I think I saw one of those once, and I always had the same impression that you had. Noel, I think was like, what a cheap show, right? Like this is not. I didn't either watch it early enough or whatever, because, I mean, the original series Star Trek, I watched that. I think it's even
cheaper
cheaper
looking.
than that. Like they made a thing out of using common items, kind of dressed up or glued
Yeah.
together or whatever. Like an egg beater is the one that I remember, whether or not it is a real thing. But
The Dalek's one arm looks
oh,
like,
that too. Yeah,
like
yeah,
a plunger, and the other one looks like an egg beater with a tube in the
yeah.
middle of it,
Yeah,
a laser and a suction hand.
yeah,
Yeah.
Which they did a little joke about
Yeah.
in there. There is often a very short special for Children in Need or Red Nose Day that will sometimes announce a new Doctor or whatever, and they had one with David Tennant in it this time, and there was a joke about the Daleks.
Yeah.
It was very fun. So that was my experience with Doctor Who, but I was very aware of him, just like Noah was. Being in the sci-fi world, it was like, this is this thing that's a little older, so I haven't been exposed to it, but I know that it exists, and like my stepdad is very into it or was aware of it. He was a lot of my entryway into science
Yeah.
fiction. And so, and it was foreign, right? So
Yeah.
there was even less chance that you were going to see
Yeah.
it. So that was it until New Who. And then, but I watched that and then I got very into it. When Christopher Eccleston, I thought he was great. And then when he regenerated, I'm like, all right, who's this? How's this going to be?
Yeah.
This guy, right? And he turned out to be awesome. That was
Yeah.
David Tennant. And that's what it's like a lot when there's a new Doctor coming in.
Like,
But-
this mother.
Yeah, it's like, but the last
wait, he's
guy.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they keep as much as I love Tennant. I think they just. I love Capaldi,
I know.
and I really
Yeah,
enjoyed
I like
Smith.
Capaldi, but yeah,
Uh,
Matt Smith is great.
Yeah,
I remember as Matt Smith is like, that guy looks a little bit like Frankenstein's monster.
Interesting.
he moves that way too.
He's got like the big forehead with like the little hair.
He does, just like
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
Oh
that
yeah,
guy.
Frankenstein's monster has a pompadour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
sure.
that about him.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, but I was totally into it. And then I started reading. I've never gone back and watched the older episodes, but I've read up on, either they'll mention something like,
Yeah.
oh, there was that time that I did this, and I'll read up on it. And so I've read a lot of the, on
Wikipedia?
wiki entries
Yeah.
or whatever, which I enjoy doing. And I've gone so far as to get a number of sonic screwdrivers.
Oh, yeah?
That's right.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
What
And I want
sonic
this
screwdrivers do you have?
So
Whose?
I've got
Whose?
Tens, which is David Tennant, and 13, which I thought was very cool. And
Was that
Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie?
Sorry,
I said Jodie Foster.
I have Jodie's and Matt's.
It's
and
cool.
I have Jodie's, Matt's, and
Capaldi.
and Tenet's.
Okay.
Never got Capaldi. It's the blue one that's
Yeah,
like
it's
double
cool.
deckered. I
Yeah.
don't have. That's the only one I don't have of the modern.
I want to get Matt
Yeah.
Smith's. It's one that I've been meaning to get, and
It's great. The little click
cool.
in the thing.
Oh, and it opens?
Which
Yeah.
I
one?
love it when
Which
it-
one don't you have?
when a toy opens.
Peter Capaldi's. The 12th Doctors. It's
It's a cool screwdriver.
it's actually pretty ugly.
Oh,
It's like the blue one. Oh, sorry. I gave. Sorry. I don't possess Jodie Whittaker's
Interesting.
sonic screwdriver. Samantha does.
Nice.
Oh,
Because I got it for her.
Who says, I'm
Yeah.
oddly attracted to Matt Smith. Not going to lie. What a weirdo. And Opera Go says, as much as I love 9, him only staying one season was best for the show because it quickly introduced new fans to the concept of regeneration.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's
That's
9?
cool. That is Christopher
Yours.
Eccleston.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So you're both sort of fans from way back, yeah?
So at
it's
this
all right.
point,
I
it's
kinda
way
dig
back.
it.
You know, I was just thinking. I was like,
Ooh,
oh,
it's-
that's like most of my adult life.
Yeah.
You know, now that I look at it. So yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's still available. The
Matt Smith's?
oh no, Capaldi's.
You should get it.
12.
Yeah, the 12th Doctor's
Yeah.
sonic screwdriver. I
And
might.
the little figures.
I'm gonna put that on my Christmas list.
I
I'll
was
let
going to
Sam
say,
know.
no, I was
Yeah.
making a note for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should also get Jodie Whittaker's because apparently you don't.
Apparently, I don't
You
have
don't
Jodie
possess
Whittaker's. I only
Right.
have.
Yeah.
And I remember wasn't Tenet's first one. The new one's really cool too.
It
by
is
the
really
way.
cool, and I want it.
Yeah, maybe I just want
Yeah.
the new one.
Yeah.
Tenet's the first version of Tenet's that I got
Yeah.
was actually it came with a psychic notepad.
Oh, sweet.
The one half of it was a marker, like an invisible ink marker,
Uh-huh.
and then you put the light on it, and it shows what you.
You know
wrote.
what? The one that I
That's
have
cool.
just has the invisible ink marker part, and
That-
they didn't come with a notepad.
Oh no!
No.
Oh yeah,
I just
it
have that,
literally
and
came
it's
with a psychic
constantly
notepad.
popping off.
By the way, that's a psychic notepad. It
Oh.
whatever he says is on there, and the person hears the
Right.
suggestion. He sees that.
It
So
like
I
fills
see.
in
He-
with.
he
or
like
Like I'm an
sometimes-
FBI agent.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
or
like-
just like, hey, I'm here to check out that thing, and they'll say like, oh, you're the inspector of
Yeah.
whatever. You know,
Yeah.
they'll fill it in themselves.
And when
Yeah.
he was just like, it says mistress, he's like, catch up.
yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm not a big Who
Very
guy.
little experience.
Very little experience. But I was certainly. I always want to like things. I never go into a thing
yeah.
just prepared to hate it.
Mhm.
I'm always open to enjoying something new and finding out. Like what were we talking about something earlier where we're like, everyone's Josh Williamson.
Mhm.
Everyone seems to like him. I feel broken. Why don't I like him? That's how I feel about Doctor Who.
Okay.
And you know, I even will sit there and think about. You were talking about how cheap the sets are and how
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
they have painted household items to look like sci-fi things.
Oh, they have some of the Daleks.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't tell on the TVs back then, but very much can now. Apparently, they are cardboard cutouts.
Oh, no kidding.
That back then it's like, oh, okay, there's like 2 or 3 real built Daleks, I guess, and then to make it look like there's an army, there's cardboard
Oh.
cutouts,
Yeah.
and now it's like
Like the end
Oh,
scene
there's-
in Star Wars, right?
like what in Star Wars?
The end
Oh,
scene
yeah.
in Star Wars,
Oh,
the
really?
ceremony, like a lot
Yeah.
of those people are just
Yeah, they're
not
just
there.
cardboard.
Is that so?
It's cardboard.
Yeah.
So and like, but growing up, listening to punk rock and all that stuff, and being a working class
Oh,
kind of
they were
guy,
into it.
you would think I would be like,
Yeah.
you guys make your little show with your
Yeah.
cardboards. Good for you.
Yeah.
Don't let your access to money impede your creative
Yeah.
storytelling.
I would think you would have said that.
But I did say that.
Oh, you
Um,
just now though.
But it's also like very silly.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a couple of obstacles that I have to overcome. All that being said,
Yeah.
I tuned into this one
Yeah.
and it was delightful.
Nice.
It was really fun. I laughed out loud a couple of
Awesome.
times. I did not feel lost.
cool.
Everything that I needed as a new viewer jumping in
hmm
fresh
Yeah.
was, I think, provided for me.
Cool.
I'm sure that there were a lot of references I didn't get, a lot of characters I didn't really know from beforehand, but I feel like everything I needed to enjoy this was handed to me on a silver platter.
Nice.
And it's very welcoming. So I had a blast. What did you guys think of this episode?
You first.
I
Special.
loved it. Absolutely loved it. Right. I sat down to watch it. I was ready for David Tennant, because they'll show often the regeneration at the
Mhm.
end of the previous
yeah.
episode, right?
So
So we
Jodie, not
Jodie
Foster.
Whittaker.
Yeah.
Jodie Whittaker, yes,
Yeah.
regenerated into David Tennant at the end
Uh-huh.
of that one. So we've known that this was coming for a while, and that it will be brief also because we've seen the next one after this as well already.
How?
I mean, not
They
in the
announced
show.
it. They
Just
announced
they've
it.
said like this guy
I
is going
see,
to be
I
right.
see.
So, so as I said, David Tennant is my favorite
Actually,
Doctor.
Didn't they announce it before Jodie left?
I believe so.
So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
announced
Oh, so it was an even bigger
Shooty?
surprise.
Shooty, I believe.
Shooty?
Yeah.
that
Shooty
Tennant shows
Gatwa.
up.
Yeah, they announced that
That's
Shooty
cute.
Gatwa would be the next
Yeah.
Doctor, and then the regeneration happened, and it's an old face.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's
And
like, why is this happening?
That's never
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
before, but in the 50th anniversary,
Yes.
it was noted that it
Yeah.
could happen, that he
Yeah.
will start to wear his old faces at certain times.
Yeah. The
that are
old
deemed
favorites.
important. Yeah, the old
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah.
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 God damn it. I love this fucking
So
show.
yeah, so he's my favorite Doctor, and I was like, oh, I can't wait. And I like that they did that intro, and I was curious as to what your feeling about it would be, and if it was enough. That's the only time they've ever done something like
Oh,
that.
like previously on?
Yeah,
Oh.
and because Disney Plus has taken over the distribution of it outside of the UK,
Oh.
and so I guess what starts with Shurigacha was being billed as season 1.
Yeah.
Of even though they usually go with the numbering from the 2005.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 specials, and then there's that, and I thought it was so much fun. He was like right back into it. I have a feeling one of your laughs came about 10 seconds in with the boxes.
Oh yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Like right, puts the boxes back on as soon as she can see him, and she's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
You know, and it's hilarious, and
Yeah.
it's perfect. Their chemistry, you know, back from the old days, and it just feels fresh and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
And it feels
that
you
was-
could feel them having fun
Yeah.
as actors. I
Yeah.
think.
That was also the first. So the Donna as the companion Donna was different up until that point for New Who, Modern Who, because up until then, pretty much all Rose and Martha, there was flirtation and sexual tension.
Yeah.
There was
like a
yeah.
romantic,
Even though it wasn't always reciprocated, it was always
right,
kind
right.
of like
it was an element.
there was an
of the
element of like
relationship.
these two
Yeah.
pretty people flirting.
Yeah, yeah.
Donna came in as an equal, and the show changed a dynamic from an if they won't they to these like best friends foiling
When-
against each
when
other.
they
And
met-
it's so good.
When they met, he says, you know, like, I just want to mate. And he's like, you just want to mate? Like, no, a mate.
Yeah.
Just want to hang out.
Yeah, that him and the Donna is something that's just wonderful.
It's a good. It took
Yeah.
me a little while to warm up to their relationship, because something that Doctor Who does sometimes is there'll be a character who's like, he's the Doctor, and they're like, get out of here, you. You're like, you're not special. And she was a little that way, and I'm like, why are you interacting in this way? But once I did, man, Donna's awesome, and I was so happy to see her come back. And I thought the story was brilliant. Like, it was so much fun. The look of it
Yeah.
was cool. We'll talk more in detail, but the screwdriver was awesome. Really cool. Very interesting changes. And the TARDIS is cool. We'll get to
it's
that
so
later.
dope.
too.
It's
So many ramps for no reason.
I mean,
Whoa.
it's hella accessible.
The ramps. Yeah.
You can get to every. You
That's
can
a
get
good
to
point.
Yeah, yeah,
every
He
level.
He does have
Yeah.
a friend in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Every single level without using stairs.
Yeah.
It's
Amazing.
just the idea of
Yeah.
like all those ramps rotate.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's so dope.
I
Really
did
big.
love his joy of just like
He's so
running
into it,
around.
right?
Yeah.
And
That's
the whole
the
brought
Doctor.
the yes.
Is he always that enthusiastic?
He is definitely
There are
David
periods.
Tennant.
There are.
but-
You mean the actor or the character?
The character.
There are periods of curmudgeon,
Yeah.
but there's never a lack of hope.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
there's like
there's
a
never a
joy
lack
in
of-
the
yeah.
discovery and
Even-
the existence of
Even
things
the
in
curmudgeon
universe.
versions are filled with awe and wonder, and
Yeah, yeah.
like they'll see something horrific to anyone else and be like, "That's so fucking cool."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even the Christopher Eccleston, I noticed the first couple of episodes, he's got this big smile on.
Yes.
He's like, something horrible will be happening. He'll be like, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get into
Ha.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an adventurer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He delights in it.
Right.
And yeah, he was just so great as the Doctor in this episode. And really brought that back. I loved
Yeah.
it.
And even I have never met what's her name?
Donna.
Donna. I've never
Yeah.
met Donna other
Yeah,
than
yeah.
like she was in The Office
She was.
and some other shows that I've
Yeah.
seen. But this character I've never met before, but I could still feel their closeness.
Nice.
I thought that they brought that together
That's
really
cool.
well.
There was how did you feel? I guess we'll get into spoilers a little. Oh,
Oh yeah, I figure.
the Disney of it all, I think is cool. it
The money.
It upped the
For
show.
sure.
Yeah,
Well,
so
it's
The
so there's
inside
a
of
lot
that
of, like,
TARDIS. I mean,
there's a
no,
lot
there's
of
ramps.
No, but it's gigantic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
misconception online too about how that's working out. It's like Disney
Oh,
has
yeah.
absolutely nothing to do with
No,
the
it's
production of the
distribution
show.
rights.
They're just
All
sending
they
it
did,
out.
all they are, is paying money to distribute the show outside
yeah.
of the UK, and the BBC is using that money
Yeah.
to prop up the budgets for all of these shows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have no content notes whatsoever. So I was like, it's not a Disney show, but it's great.
It's bad.
There are
Wolf.
people who will
it's like
just
a weird deal where it's. But yeah, what were you saying?
There are people who would just see the word Disney and be like, "Nah,
They're
ruining it.
yeah, it's
Oh,
ruined
it's
by
gonna be-
Disney."
I saw
Nothing
people
to do.
saying like, "Oh, the logo, I couldn't figure out. It's just like Paw Patrol," and I was like, "All right, I got to see this. Maybe it'd be funny." It's not. I mean, it's like
Oh, the new opening
they're
is dope.
too. Oh, it's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
the CG on that's nice.
But
Even
they're
I
not the
noticed.
same
I was
at all.
like, oh,
even
that's good
even
looking.
the score
Yeah.
was redone.
It was by the guy who did the music
Murray.
for Murray Gold,
Yeah.
who did the music for. So Russell T Davies, the showrunner who brought Doctor Who back in 2005, also has come back for this, right?
Oh, so he left.
Yeah,
he
so
left for a while. Yeah,
he was there for all of Tenet,
all of Eccleston and Tennant,
And
then
then-
left.
Oh,
Stephen Moffat took over, which is
Oh,
all
I
the
know that
Matt
name.
stuff.
Yeah.
stuff-
Yeah.
The Matt
He wrote
stuff,
Blink and
Yeah.
Girl in the Fireplace, two of the better
Oh, okay.
best
and
episodes.
the Empty Child and the Doctor
and-
Dances, right?
Yes, and Silence in the Library. He wrote a lot of the best episodes,
and
actually.
the fucking
Yeah.
of the Dead. Ah,
Yeah,
all the River Song shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
you should meet River Song. You'll love
Yeah.
her.
it's on TV.
I keep thinking of Firefly,
Phoenix?
Oh, and you should
River
meet-
Tam.
Oh
From
yeah,
He should
Firefly.
he should just watch the one episode, The Doctor's Wife,
yes.
the Neil Gaiman episode.
Oh,
It's a great episode.
All right, you
Yeah.
got me. I like gaming.
There you go.
Anyway, this episode. I watched it. I started to watch the second time, and I
Uh-huh.
kept pausing it because I noticed just how much amazing dialogue and stuff that they seed.
yeah.
It's so tightly written, and I completely forgot. So like since Davies left, the show is different. Good, but different. It's more almost fantasy flavored and supernatural flavored at times. But Russell T Davies' version of Doctor Who is so fucking earnest and on the nose.
Yeah.
So like the idea of the solution to this entire problem being a binary, non-binary
I need that
is
explained.
so
to me.
fucking on the nose.
I need that explained to me.
No,
part?
there's less. There's nothing about previous Who in that. If that's what you're
Oh,
wondering.
she goes
a little bit.
binary.
Oh, so that was not really something seated in the
Oh.
previous.
No, it's
Oh.
just something that they kind of like redid and recontextualized.
My feeling
Oh.
was that this was an up until now unknown like trigger
Yep.
series of phrases that
right.
would bring
Yeah.
her memory back.
Like
Oh,
in
and that
part.
just happened to be the
Civil
last
War.
no,
Yes.
yeah, but
yeah.
it throws back to the point when she absorbed the power of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Her mind is not enough to handle
Yeah.
all
yeah.
the knowledge in the
Yeah.
universe, right? So she started to have to not reboot. She started to
It's like burnout.
to break down and burn
Yeah,
out, and
yeah.
she got caught on the word binary.
Oh,
Thank
did
you.
she back then?
Yeah, back
Thank
then.
you.
Oh, I
It seemed like
forgot
it was
that.
a
Yeah,
reference.
so that was
Oh,
the-
you're absolute. Oh, I
She-
totally forgot that.
She was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is gonna be great. I can do this. I can do this." And
Yeah.
binary, and like she like
Right.
got. It's almost
Okay,
like she
that's
kept
right.
stopping.
Brilliant.
So that was one of the last words in the trigger for him
Yeah.
to re-engage her.
Yeah.
But then the reveal that her having a daughter and she passed on that, like it was always too much for one Donna, for one human
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
But the idea that it was now two human
Mhm.
brains sharing it, they'd be able to last longer. And the idea that the meta crisis, Rose named herself
Yes. With like the background memories.
with all of these
Yeah.
dormant memories.
That's what I was going to ask. Because there's a Rose in season
Yes.
one.
A
And I'm
very
like, there's got to be a
significant
reason
Rose.
that
Yeah,
she
yeah.
is.
this
Yeah.
this Rose, who was born of a different has a different name, born as at a different name. She chose her name and she chose her profession and she chose all
Her
of these things
hideout.
in her life
Yeah.
with this subtle references and or influences
That was cool.
of her dreams, her memories.
Yeah,
her,
yeah.
like, and I thought
Did
that
you
was
hear
so
what her
fucking
the
rad.
name given to her at birth means? Healer. Is
oh.
so Donna also was like subconsciously homaging the Doctor.
Oh.
That's so
Um,
awesome.
That's what I
Did
read.
we not?
I read
Did
and
we
looked it
not
up.
meet her child
No.
in a previous thing?
Did not exist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the way when
saw her get married,
Tennant
that's
shows up, when the doctor
Yeah.
shows up and sees her, he seems confused.
Yeah.
I guess it was just that, oh, you have a kid.
She-
Not like
yeah.
that kid is different than the kid I remember. I see.
No.
Okay.
He's the last we saw her was she was getting married to the guy. It's the
Same
same
actor.
actor.
I would hope so.
That-
Yeah.
But I mean, it was like 15 years
Yeah.
ago, and it was one scene. He was
Yeah.
not in any other shot. I don't think.
That guy for 15 years has been going, please call me.
Yeah,
Please call me.
I was in that. I got married to her, and then she left the show.
What the hell?
So so that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the first. This is the introduction to her daughter Rose.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Who's gonna-
I loved all that.
Catch up. Sam says, I'm sad I didn't find Doctor Who sooner. It took Noel introducing me when we started dating. I'm going to go back and watch Tennis Run. Me too. I wish we had a Doctor Who night. That'd be so fun. Opera Go says, love the subtle nod to Tennant's age now. And when he last played the Doctor, that's another bit I laughed at.
Yeah.
You could wear a suit that tight until age 35 and no further.
Throughout their whole their
So
whole
fun. Yeah,
tenure
yeah.
together, she made fun of him, called him Skinny Minnie all the time,
yeah?
and made fun of his
they're always
pants that
going-
tight or jacket, or
Yeah.
like he goes to put his he puts his coat on her when she's cold, and she's like, I won't fit in this. Like, what is this shit?
What if it has nothing to do with the meta crisis and the Doctor can just use these words to kill any companion they want? Oh,
Sure, that'd be
Yikes.
dope.
he plants it in them.
But then
just in
also,
case.
so like
Melt.
so the whole episode is trans as fuck, and I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
But then
I've seen people online on Twitter
It's-
being very upset about it. I'm like, isn't this about a show about
Yeah.
a dude who like
oh yeah.
makes he's reborn as a different race and also a different sex or gender? Not sex, gender.
Well, it's like they it's and metaphorically
Or both.
as the Dr. Donna, they share an identity at one point in the
Yeah.
other episode and then this one, and then also just on the nose. But then also the idea of him being completely fluid, not only in gender but in just everything.
Yeah.
Well, is
and the
he's
definitive-
not a sexual character at all, right?
No,
Like, he never gets
He's pretty
down.
beyond it. He has had a wife. He had a granddaughter also,
Oh.
but this is in the. I mean, the granddaughter stuff is like his first companion in the
Yeah.
'60s was his granddaughter,
Oh,
and
it's cute.
Yeah. So, and they were still figuring out like
Yeah.
He's
what his alien species was and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But
Yeah,
he's generally depicted as like not engaging in that kind of
he's not
stuff.
asexual,
Asexual?
but
Yeah.
no, he's not asexual.
not.
He's
No.
but he is
He's
beyond
like aloof. Yeah.
beyond romanticism, or no, he's very romantic. He's just beyond.
Yeah, he just doesn't get into it that much in front of you.
sure.
You know what I'm
Basically,
saying?
actually, yeah,
Yeah.
the long-standing relationship that he did have
Right.
on the show
Yeah,
was 99% off screen,
that's true. Right.
And they
talked
only-
about for a long time, and then
and
a lot of
there's
it, yeah.
only one, I think only one kiss that they shared that wasn't plastered on him without his like
yeah.
consent.
And he's when he's David Tennant's version 10, he somebody's trying to use like a romance kind of magic science kind of thing on him, and they steal his hair to do that, and they say they're going to do that, and he's like, "Oh, that won't work on me." You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's you're barking up the wrong tree. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not susceptible to manipulation in that way. Like he's that kind of beyond.
Sure,
it.
yeah, makes sense.
yeah.
But what was I going to say? Oh,
He's
and
a
then,
Time Lord.
and
He's a
then
Time Lord.
and then
Yeah.
They don't
the
get to do this,
the actual end of. So Russell T Davies' writing is always very earnest and on the nose.
Yes.
The fact that there's still this problem of the meta crisis, but even though you're sharing it among two people, it will still slowly kill you. And they're like,
Right,
right.
right.
Wait, no, actually, if you were a woman, you'd understand that you could just take energy and let it go.
I thought that was that was my one
That was
issue.
so on the nose, and I was okay with it.
It was like, is that a hallmark of womanhood,
Right.
as opposed to?
Well, not a hallmark of womanhood, just something that wouldn't become
Well, but they-
necessarily apparent to him.
Well, I got the sense that they were like, a male presenting Time Lord would never understand this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, like
Yeah, that's how I took it.
women can let things go, and it's
Too. I was
like,
like, Ken,
I've known women that can let things go, and I've known men that can let things go, and I've known women and men who do not do those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
I don't think this is a
It's
gendered
inher-
trait.
Yeah.
It was coming from Donna.
Now, see, that's the other thing. I was thinking about that on my drive to work this morning. I'm
It's
like,
a dig.
Donna bigs herself up all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
You know, Donna is self-aggrandizing, and she will dig on him, and so
It's a dig, and then
right,
her super
unreliable
smart
narrator
would,
here.
her super
Yeah.
smart would think like, actually, I could just dispel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine.
You'd never figure this out, Doctor.
Yeah,
right. So yeah, there is that.
I
Other
loved
than that, there was not a single thing about this
I
episode
loved
that
it.
I
I
didn't
loved.
like,
I
you
loved
know?
the meep. He was fucking awesome
Yes.
and
I like the
creepy.
flip.
You like the
The
flip?
meat
I was
flip.
wondering
I
if
like
you
that
would.
meat flip.
It was a good meat flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
One
I
of the
loved.
best meat flips I've ever seen.
I'd say top 5, top 10,
Top one.
definitely.
Top one. Meat
Top
flip.
one.
Yeah. I've never seen a meat flip in this way before.
Beep the meep was
That's right.
dope. The Wraith.
Rarth.
Rarth.
Apparently.
Come on. They're Rarths.
Give
This
me
guy- right?
Give me
You probably don't
rubber.
even know.
Give me rubber suits all fucking day. They looked
Right?
awesome.
Needs more
They
wet.
looked interesting,
awesome.
like-
Needs more wet puppets.
Like-
There should be some viscosity on these
Yeah, yeah,
puppets. Yes.
I mean, they're insects too. They should have some.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
they
You
look
pulled
like?
out his tummy.
They look
Yeah.
like
They laughed twice.
yeah, that was cute. Those guys, the ones who were tracking the meep,
Yes.
looked like what are they called from Dark Side?
Parademons?
Parademons.
Yes, they did kind
They
of.
look like
Now
parademons.
that you mention it.
Yeah.
And they had jaggedy
The-
mouths, right?
Yeah.
The stuff from
Big
the
eyes.
the
Oh,
stuff
their
from
voices.
the comic. The story itself is not from the Meep is from the comic, and the
Rarth
Rarth
are
are from the comic.
Like the general,
Oh.
I think, structure of the
Meep
meat
existed?
story is.
in the Dave Gibbons comic.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what.
Oh, the one
Yeah.
that this comes from. Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
My sense of.
But it didn't go
Just-
evil, I don't think. Like,
No,
that was
it
all-
did.
It did?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
I
didn't
just
know
got that reference. Sam C says that Meep pulled a Bilbo and I hated it. And I was like, what the? What? I was sitting here staring
Masturbation.
at it, not even listening to you guys. I'm
The
like,
meat
what
was
the hell's
pulling
a
his Bilbo.
Yeah,
And I'm
right
like,
in the
oh.
toys.
It's a
I-
masturbation.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
euphemism.
Yeah.
Meep and his Bilbo.
But yeah, I finally figured it out.
Yeah, when he fangs up.
The-
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Scared the shit out
that's
of me.
Sam's least favorite
In
jump
all of the
in
Lord of
all
the Rings.
films.
I remember I
Yeah.
No,
in
just
all
jumped.
films.
Just
in all
the
films,
least
yeah.
favorite jump scare in all
Wow.
films. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, when so
Stop
I
meeping your Bilbo.
I
We're doing a show.
Don't
that
build-
was the show.
You gonna build that meat? Just like jiggle the meat.
Yes.
Rarth the meat.
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah.
Somewhere around the other side.
Some,
my God.
some meepy Rorth.
So
You can't meep your Bilbo on Disney Plus.
That's true.
There's two
true.
rules. There's no crying in baseball,
Yeah.
and there's no meeping your Bilbo on Disney Plus.
Yeah, you got it. Well, that's how it is.
Yep.
So I'll fight against it to my dying day.
As I'd
but,
hope.
yeah. So that was in the comics, and I was glad that I didn't know. I hadn't looked into what Beep the Meep was, but I'm not sure. I kind of may have had a sense that they were antagonistic, but
Yeah.
not really. And so I loved that flip too.
Yeah, yeah. At
the
first, I was
Rarth-
when the meep first showed up. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man,
What's this all about?
Maybe I'm dipping out.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
losing me.
Yeah,
But it started to grow on.
and it was quickly
when,
enough.
when Donna pokes it in the eye.
Yeah.
What, and she like
Yeah.
screams, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, originally, the Meep revealed himself, or the Meep revealed the Meep's self
the meep self, yes.
to us way earlier in the shed, would like become evil, and then Rose would turn around, and the Meep was like,
This was in the comic book.
no. In the earlier, I think they may have even shot it.
Oh, the
but versions
draft
of
the script or
of this
whatever.
show. Yeah. And then they decided it was like it's really, really funny, but
Yeah.
we're gonna go the other way for
Yeah, I like
story
this.
reasons.
This
I
is
liked
good,
it too. Yeah, I like not knowing for a while.
Yeah.
Also, the Rarth, their personalities were so
Yeah.
so refined and proper. I loved
Yeah.
it.
The voice work was fun.
Yeah, and so what I alluded to earlier, that conversation about the Meep's pronouns was awesome and excellent for support of trans and pronoun usage, and also really good for what the Meeps turned out to be. You know, that's like my pronouns are the definite article. I am always the Meep. And the doctor says, "Oh, I do that
I
too."
do that. Yeah. I laughed at that too.
It was awesome.
Funny episode.
Yeah, right.
Damn.
There's a lot
Is
of
it always
it's-
this funny?
Often,
yeah.
not every
Often
episode
enough.
is that the point
Sure,
of,
yeah,
but
I mean,
yeah,
It
it's
was charming as hell.
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's charming, it's fun, there are funny moments in a lot of the Tenant run, I would say. Especially not especially, but maybe especially the early Rose and Donna stuff was like that. And because they have a fun interaction together. So the screwdriver, fantastic.
I fucking love the new screwdriver.
It looks awesome.
So we were talking about
And,
this in the
yeah.
shop a little bit. You were asking me about the screwdriver itself, and early on, it is just a plot device. It's a catch-all multi-tool.
Yeah.
it's a non-lethal weapon. It's
Right.
not even a weapon. It's
No,
literally
it's like
just a multi-tool.
It opens things, and it can give him information and readings.
But it
you
was
know?
always just like a,
Yeah.
look at that, and you don't see nothing.
He holds it
Yeah.
up to his ear sometimes, or he'll like be doing something, and it's very. It can't do everything. There are some things it can't open,
like wood.
or if something is deadlocked, then he can't open it.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Right. And sometimes he'll have to work harder than others, and he can set up resonances with it. You know, that kind of stuff.
This is the first time, at least in Modern Who, that they actually gave it specific functionality outside of him just using it as a prop, like being able to create
Yeah.
an interface.
Which
That
I
was
think
cool.
I think is very cool because, like we were saying,
I loved it.
He always got information out of it. It was just done with, he acted it
Yeah.
obviously in real life, but he sold that he was getting that information. So the Doctor was always receiving data
think he-
from it, and he could even
plugged it into the TARDIS at one point.
yeah,
too,
he could plug it in, and
yeah.
it could show stuff that way. But I love this because it lets us see what he's seeing. I mean, one, it looks cool. It's a cool thing to have on screen. It lets us see what he's seeing, and it also lets other characters see it if
Yeah.
he wants them to for whatever reason.
Yeah,
You know, he can show them things.
even
or
the
whatever.
even the making the hard light kind of
so
things. I'm fine with that.
that I really
I'm
like
super
too.
fine
That
with
was cool.
It's a cool ability for him to have. It's an upgraded ability. It's a defensive ability only, right?
He is
And
not
that's
the
what the
aggressor.
Doctor's all about, right? He does not shoot blasts. He doesn't
Yeah.
have offensive weaponry.
There was a war doctor,
I mean, it's not like he's never shot a blast.
That's true.
Right?
but he
But,
tries to be a pacifist.
Right. He's not that kind of guy. And so him having this cool upgrade to the sonic screwdriver that is a defensive thing only and also looks cool and also is not impervious, right? You see
Yeah.
bullets start to get through it. So
I-
it's not like it'll be
And I like that
oh,
he was
it's
having.
fine.
He had to like move it.
Yes.
He like made it, and it was like, oh,
You gotta push it out there,
pushing it
right?
into the
he
hallway.
can't construct it out there
Yeah.
because there's bullets going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, that was cute.
But he can move it around, which is
Yeah.
cool. I think it's a very interesting tech for them to have added. It really fits the character, and I'm
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
excited to see what it's
the,
like.
in the Matt Smith season. It's the kind of show that doesn't necessarily it invites you to pick it apart, but doesn't necessarily care if you could pick it apart. During the Matt Smith era, there was a phrase called "timey-wimey."
Yes.
Like when you start to like
Oh, that was from Blink,
fall,
actually.
yeah, when you
Yeah.
start to
Yeah.
fall into like a paradox of like, well, if this happened, then this happened, this couldn't have happened.
It's all
and
wibbly
yeah, it's a
wobbly,
wibbly wobbly,
Timey-wimey.
timey-wimey.
timey-wimey. Yeah.
That's basically the whole show.
Yeah.
You could pick
Yeah.
apart any kind of like piece of tech or this or that or
Yeah.
explanation he has,
Like,
but
well,
it
it
all
works.
comes down to like,
Yeah, like it-
timey-wimey,
that's how it is.
wibbly wobbly, whatever.
One of the things I had to come to terms with is the fact that like a lot of the acting is like flip bleep bloop dop did it, like you
Yeah.
just hit random shit. And
Oh, yeah.
and
Well, like we were
you're-
saying,
and I know
Deadlocked.
that
What's that?
in the take before that,
Right.
you did different things. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
no
Although, there are some
Half of
sci-fi
sci-fi.
actors.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
Half
Which is
of
some
all
of
of
it,
sci-fi.
some of it sells it better than
That's true,
bleep
yeah.
bloop blop.
There are some sci-fi actors who will come up with, like, I'm pretty sure Cole Meany on Star Trek had an idea of like, when I raise this
This
is
does
what
that,
happened.
yeah.
Or like
They
when
map
they say this,
interactions,
like I
yeah.
do this sequence of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And I'm assuming there are some sci-fi actors that don't do that. But yeah, there's a lot of that in Doctor Who. Like I was saying the deadlock thing earlier.
Yeah.
It's just like this thing is what we say it is.
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
does
It's
that thing.
deadlocked.
I can't tell you how many times like the solution has been, well, I reversed the polarity and then I
Yeah.
reversed
Yeah.
your reversal of
neutron
the
flow.
polarity.
The
And I'm
guy
like,
is always
I
with
don't
the
know what the fuck
reversing
that
the
means,
reversal.
but that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
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 Let's see. In the third Doctor's era, whenever they needed some sciencey BS, the Doctor would say, "I've just reversed the polarity of the neutron flow,"
Nice.
which is crazy that they said that more than once. That was the
So-
solution to more than one thing.
Yeah.
There's multiple neutron flows
Our-
that are in a polarity that is inconvenient for
Yeah.
you,
and easily reversed.
easily reversible.
We all loved it. This is very important, though. Our moon. Am I in the minority in that Peter Capaldi is my favorite? There are favorite doctors and there are favorite doctor episodes. I felt Capaldi had the best stories and acting. Which camera am I looking into in this one?
All of them.
Okay.
Reverse the polarity over here.
Peter Capaldi is my favorite doctor.
There you go.
I absolutely adore him. I love David Tennant. I love Matt Smith. I watch those episodes all the time, but Peter Capaldi is so friggin' awesome. That he's nerdy and a rock star and old as dirt, but young as hell at the same time and every moment. And I love him. He chews scenery more than any other actor I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, he has like 10-minute speeches about gobbledygook, and you're just like drooling because it's just so good. Yeah, he seemed dangerous too. Like he was the doctor that, like, I mean, he may not save those people. He may not let them live. Like,
I mean, the moon was in some serious danger, and he was out.
Yeah,
yeah.
Didn't it open like an egg? Wasn't it? Yeah,
it was a dragon.
Yeah, that's right.
Not a dragon, but it was like a dragon.
Moon monster.
Yeah, it was a moon monster.
So
it was one of those moon monsters.
Capaldi is like, it wasn't at the time, but as time passes, Capaldi keeps becoming my favorite. I love Peter Capaldi.
So which camera? This camera for me? I don't know who that is.
Peter Capaldi is the 12th.
I don't know who Peter Capaldi is.
The 12th Doctor. He's got gray hair when he's the Doctor. He's
yeah,
older.
Love that guy.
Yeah,
I'll get there eventually. Is what I'm saying. I mean, I think I'm gonna try. Here's the thing. I want Sushan to watch it with me so that I can watch it. But I don't know if she's interested.
So you could do what I did and just put it on.
Yeah,
and then eventually she'll sit down and be like, "Oh, what's happening?"
Yeah, like, what are you
Who's that?
watching? What is this?
What's that
What's
guy
going
doing?
on?
Moving
It's
lights,
like
and we're
slowly-
all drawn to it.
Yeah. We're all just flies.
Tears in the headline. All animals are.
Funnily enough, Peter Capaldi turned down the role of the 8th Doctor because he didn't think he could do the Doctor justice.
Interesting.
How is that not a rock star?
That's a rock star.
There you go.
Ooh,
He's got it. He
the
plays
purple crush suit.
So
velvet crush suit.
Yeah, he's got a velvet crush suit. He replaces his sonic screwdriver with sonic sunglasses at one
like
point.
Okay.
You
didn't
didn't like
care
it?
for that.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
A lot of
'cause
people
it
did.
was just like reading stuff.
Yeah.
But then
I mean, I wasn't against their existence.
when he's
but-
when he's like thinking over things, he'll start to play guitar.
Oh.
Like
He does.
what was it? What was the one episode? The whole like me immortal.
Oh, that was awesome.
arc,
With
all that stuff with Maisie Williams.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
I know Maisie Williams.
Arya Stark
Yes.
was on a
She was in an
multi-episode arc.
Yeah,
That's cool.
But they're in like Roman times, and he enters on top of a tank playing guitar.
Yes.
What?
I'm like,
That's true.
this is so badass. This is so
Huh.
badass.
Also,
Sorry.
isn't someone else is in these shows? Nebula, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Amy
Karen
Pond,
Gillan.
or she plays Amy Pond.
Yeah.
Favorite companions?
Favorite companions.
Give me top 3.
Oh, top 3. Rose. Oh, that's tough. Probably Clara's, and Clara was excellent in the appearances before she was Clara. Like I liked her the whole way.
Oh, all the Osgood stuff.
All the Osgood stuff was like, oh man, she's awesome. And then her actual Clara character was not as cool as those.
I loved the Impossible Girl.
Oh, yeah.
That's like one of my favorite arcs.
Yeah.
All the Matt Smith Impossible
Yeah.
Girl stuff. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say she's probably in the top 3. And what have we got? Bill was really cool. That was the season that I really liked. Peter Capaldi was his 3rd season with Bill.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed. And I guess Donna would be the top 3rd. But I have a feeling I'm forgetting.
I mean, you didn't mention Martha.
I liked all of them. There is not a
there haven't
companion
been any that I don't
like.
like. But my
Graham was awesome.
Graham was dope.
Yeah.
But I think in my top 3, I think Rory is one of the best companions.
Rory's great. Does Jack count as a companion?
He did in the first season. Like he was.
Oh, then
he
Jack
was
is definitely.
he was a companion with Rose for a while,
Yeah,
right?
he was.
Because that's
All right,
how
then I
he
get a
became
top
immortal.
4,
So you got a
'cause
top 4.
I'm not kicking anybody out, but Jack's.
I would say my favorite Capaldi season is actually his 2nd season with Clara, where
Okay.
something important happens to her, and he basically punches diamonds for a million years.
Yes. Yeah,
That was the best 2 episodes.
it's a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite companion was Vivian Ward
The first one.
from Pretty Woman.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
she was good.
What about the one from Firefly?
Oh no!
There you go.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
right
yeah.
back on.
Yeah. I take it back. You're right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Doctor
Can't
Who
think of
is
anyone else
great.
called a companion.
There are no bad places to start Doctor Who,
Yeah.
and there are so many different versions of Doctor Who that if you, let's say you try the first couple of episodes of Eccleston and it's not feeling it, skip to the next Doctor.
Yeah.
Like the show transforms
true.
itself and yes-ands itself so much that there's no true start.
Yeah.
Just watch it.
So we've got some other participation in Who Are Your Top 3 Companions. Sam says Clara, Amy, and Rory Pond. She's also taking the 4 option.
I was gonna say
and Bill.
Amy and Roy, even though they're a couple, I think they're two different
They come
companions.
together,
Sam,
yeah.
But, okay.
I hope
And
so.
If they're lucky. And then Opera Ghost 08 says Rose. Lucy Miller going back. Now, Rob is very versed in the classic Doctor Who as well.
Yeah, I guess
He has
so.
expanded into that. And Donna, honorable mention to Graham, he is also chosen for. I feel like you get a fourth one now.
I think it's, for me, I'm not exactly sure what the order goes in. And if River was a companion, number one with a bullet.
Oh, right. Ooh,
But she's never been an
she's
actual
not a
companion. She's her own thing.
Which one's River?
River
she's
song.
later. She's in some very cool episodes, and maybe you'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Clara,
Yeah.
Rory,
Mhm.
and I think Donna.
Cool. And number
Rose-
4. We all had 4.
I mean, I think Rose is more important. I think Rose is more important than how much I liked her.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
like-
Yeah.
I think she's fine,
All right.
but what she represents is probably more important.
That makes sense.
And in her absence, she's become mythologized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Wait, what's happening?
So, one thing I noticed about this, and I guess this would spoil
Yeah.
this particular special.
I mean, we were talking about it for a while.
There's no real stakes for the main characters. What's her name? Donna.
Uh-huh.
There's a whole thing where I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna turn back into the Doctor and then she's gonna die. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what's happening. She's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. She's okay.
Yeah.
Is that how the show always goes?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, this
there's-
was like, we're bringing Donna back,
Just
and
not.
she's going to be around for a little bit.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm not going to
we
tell
left
you.
her like in very dire straits. So
There are companions that die.
Okay,
I'm
thank
also
you.
not
Oh,
going
yeah,
to tell.
yeah.
Like,
I don't want to know.
one of the
Yeah.
ones that people have mentioned has a hole put through them.
Okay, no, but
Like-
like that's all I want to know
Yeah.
is that there's
They're
actual
fine, though,
stakes.
after
I don't
that.
want.
Yeah.
because
oh, yeah.
it's that kind of show.
Everyone's yeah. In a
I
way.
mean,
yeah.
there definitely has been a hole put through somebody that turned out okay, right? I think in New Who at some point that was healed.
They're fine in a way.
Okay. No, I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking of just like some side character in
There's
some episode.
the stakes usually. So like this episode 1, it's 3 mildly connected episodes.
Yeah.
Right,
Because the Meep
right.
is done with, but
Right.
they mention wait till I tell blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You
My
don't know how
boss.
that is.
Yeah, I think these 3 are the 60th anniversary special,
Yeah.
right? Like, so these are
But
together,
mini
but,
episodes.
yeah.
I have a feeling the next episode is probably not going to be big.
no, I don't think so. They're going off into some wherever they end up, anywhere in time and space.
It'll probably be a bottle episode.
Well, so I was telling Rob actually that I have a feeling that a lot of the structure of any companion's journey with the Doctor is their introduction to the Doctor. Then they go and they travel around for a while and they get into adventures in time and
Hijinkery,
space,
yeah.
hijinkery, and what have yous.
Yeah,
And,
wibbly wobbly, timey wimey things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
You get it.
their leaving arc,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
sometimes is the Doctor regenerating, and sometimes it's the companion leaving, and sometimes both happen in the same episode or whatever. And I think probably that's what these will be, and I'm not
Yeah.
basing that on much, but
I would assume my assumption would be that the next episode would be a different Doctor, different companion.
What?
This next episode that's coming up that hasn't happened yet.
No.
Right?
No, no,
Special
no.
2?
This is
It's them too.
It follows
Oh,
directly from this.
All 3. Well, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But okay, never mind.
It's,
what was
think
your-
of it as like this is a little mini season of just their
So
adventures.
okay, so
This
these
is a
two
bridging
characters
season.
are the whole
3.
three
Yeah,
episodes.
David Tennant is
I
back.
assumed
Donna
it was-
Noble, Catherine Tate is back
Yeah.
for these 3
Thank
episodes.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was going to be like a who's who of Doctor Who.
No, so something very unusual has happened
Yeah.
where the Doctor has regenerated into a previous phase
Yeah.
and is wondering why this is happening. Now,
Yeah.
Also being drawn back to Donna.
right,
too.
and drawn back to Donna, but which we didn't know till now.
Mm-hmm.
Before he was just like, well, what's happening in the regeneration? Now, usually in anniversary episodes, the decade ones, they will try to get as many previous doctors
Right.
back
That's what
as
that
possible
was my thought. Yeah.
but that meet each other
Yeah.
as like in the 50th episode. So you can never cross paths with your own timeline. They
Yeah.
do it on a routine basis.
Right. Well,
Yes.
wasn't there also a rule that there was only supposed to be a certain amount of regenerations,
Yes.
and then they were like,
that was
"Nah,
explained in story.
Never mind.
But yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it
like,
was-
here's
they set
more
up
of them.
rules.
It was
Yeah, yeah.
explained in story like 3 times to kind of
Yeah.
like keep setting it up.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
We're gonna do this forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
and so that's what usually happens. This is different. I mean, we don't know. It's possible that one of the other ones will be in it, but this is like a look at the show's history in a different way.
Yeah.
You've got, I would say, the most famous of the modern Doctors
David
returning for
David Tennant's the face of Modern Who.
Right,
He just
right.
is. Yeah.
And returning for another thing, and you know it's a limited thing. You know who the next Doctor is, who I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a cool way to do an anniversary special, but it will be just, as far as we know, just them. Although I kind of wondered, what if he switches a little bit for some reason?
That's what
Opera Ghost
Yeah.
put in there, putting a strong bet on Meep's boss having nothing to do with the 3 specials and being someone that the 15th Doctor faces. I disagree. We have not seen Neil Patrick Harris yet, and he was widely advertised as the big bad.
Oh, I had no idea.
I think he's called the Puppeteer.
No. I think what Opera Ghost is saying is that the Toymaker is the big bad of the
Toymaker?
specials. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not sure that has been officially announced, but I think it has, and in such a way that it's like, well, this guy's the Toymaker. But he's a villain who was around in the first Doctor's run.
Oh yeah.
And not since then. And his episodes, some of the early ones are lost.
Yeah.
And they have maybe 1 or 2 scenes at most from them. And
There you go.
so he
Toymaker,
was just
and then
in that.
Neil Patrick
May or
Harris.
may not be a Time Lord.
Yeah.
That's not
makeup.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
Oh, that one is. Oh,
It's
okay.
good makeup. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, he may or may not be a Time Lord. They hadn't established what that was when he was last on the show. So very little is known. But I think he thinks he will be the big bad. What he's saying is that the Meep's boss is not the Toymaker. And is setting up
They're
shooting
setting up a big bad.
15s. Who
Sure,
knows?
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm down for either.
Yeah. So I've been watching, we've been watching Sex Education, and partially I'm interested because I'm like, oh, what's this Shooty Gachua like, right? He was in Barbie also, and he's phenomenal. He was fantastic. Yeah.
He was a Ken.
What's that?
He was a Ken.
It was a Ken.
Yes. Yeah. So, and he's been in the trail. We've seen him in the trailers, but against a background that was digitally altered because they didn't want us to see it in the trailers yet. And I'm wondering if it's the TARDIS. And we have not yet talked about how awesome.
The
I
new
mean, we
TARDIS
talked a little
is-
bit about it.
See,
Ooh, what a great design.
the very first promo at the end of Whittaker's season. You know what? Jodie Whittaker's great, by the way. We
She's
have not
phenomenal.
talked. She is an amazing doctor.
As the Doctor, she is great.
Those
like-
episodes are not my favorite though.
They are
Like,
not my favorite.
Her story, the stories
Yeah.
I
that
saw the first episode and she was so charming.
She's
I liked
amazing.
She
her
was great
so
in that.
much.
When she premiered, I was like, this is my favorite new Doctor since David Tennant. Like, as far as first episode goes, I was in. And I still think she was great. There were some things about her episodes that she was in that I didn't. Didn't grab me.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and revisit them and finish them, but they weren't. They were just kind of weak.
They did characterization stuff with the Doctor and her place, and I didn't think it was the way to go. And
I've
I
not
just
gotten
didn't
that far.
oh, okay,
That's
yeah.
in the second season.
No, not story element stuff. Just the way that they chose to portray the first female version of the Doctor. Like I said, I thought she was phenomenal. The other female Doctor that you see was also phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know how far you've gotten.
I know that she exists. I don't know the whole story.
Oh, she's
yet, though.
awesome.
Yeah.
But there was just the way that they told. There's too much focus on the companions. There was
It was a
visual
compa-
elements.
it
I
was
noticed,
a
because I
companion
watched the
show.
first episode and I'm like,
Yeah.
how many companions are there?
There
There's
were
like
3
5
to begin with, which
Yeah.
sometimes they reach out. And she's constantly saying like, "Oh, it's a flat team structure. Like we're all equals." It's like, no, you're the Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
the
are
flat team
humans.
structure.
You
yeah.
know what you're doing.
I like the idea of it, but yeah, it wasn't something like.
Yeah.
It wasn't as strong. And then also too, they made such a big deal that first season. We are not going to go back to the well of
Right.
pre-established villains.
Any classic
And I'm
stuff,
like,
and didn't talk about anything.
That's not
Yeah.
going back to the well.
Right.
That's a feature.
Right.
Wait,
The fact that,
in
like-
the very first episode, don't they go up against his main villain?
The teeth. No. The Master.
So you
The
mean
Master. Who's the
No.
Master?
wait in what?
that is.
In
in Jodie
Jodie's?
Whittaker's.
No,
No, that's
the
a
master
way
doesn't
later.
show up until
Yeah.
like much later.
There's like a train sequence and someone says that they're the Master. Or
That's
something.
the second season
Yeah.
that she's in.
Oh, is that what I watched?
Yeah, you watched
Whoops.
the wrong season. Like
That's all right.
that whole
worry
first
about
like
it.
13 episodes,
Oh, I won't. Thanks.
it's all new characters and all, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
awesome in its own right.
Yeah, some
but,
of the characters are cool.
but there was something. It's like having sugar-free candy.
Yeah.
it tastes like candy, but there's a weird aftertaste.
I
to it.
hate
It's
it.
just there's something.
And also, it's fine if
something
you
off.
just have some sugar every few candy pieces.
That's
You
what I
know
mean. Like
Right.
it's like they really wanted to do something completely different, but
Yeah.
kind of lost a little bit of the
Yeah.
narrative magic of
And then towards
having
the end of the
60
run,
years
it's-
of cool
yeah,
stuff to play with.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why would you deny that?
Yeah.
Why would you not go in the toy box?
Yeah,
You know?
there was it's unfortunate, but and just some of the storytelling towards the end of her run. There was some
Didn't
of the
get there.
specials, one of the specials, but anyway, I still liked it. I still watched it all. Right, it's still Doctor Who, and like I saad, she was
Like
great.
pizza.
Even bad Doctor Who is good Doctor Who.
Exactly,
pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was delightful as in the role. And
You know who I'd like to see?
who is it? Me? That's very nice.
Her Broadchurch companion,
Olivia
David
Olivia Coleman.
Of you.
Oh my God!
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot the tenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Olivia Coleman, I think, could be a fun doctor. In my
That'd be
very
cool.
limited doctor
She'd be
experience.
good in everything, though.
Right. That's also.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Male writers
Um,
ruining a female storyline? Never heard of it, said Sam Singh.
That's very true, actually.
Is
Is
Chibnall
that
was
is
a
that
little
what you're
off.
talking about with some of the elements with Jodie Whittaker's doctor? You were like, the first female doctor.
Well, Chris
I thought
Chibnall
they
in
didn't-
general wasn't.
Yeah, I thought it was. I guess one, it was a shame because this was the first female doctor, and she had the potential to be just so good,
Yeah.
and and unfortunately, a lot of people weren't happy about it, and it would have been great if it was just really, really good.
Yeah.
Since it was the first female doctor, and also some of the story elements were like, well, these are kind of stereotypes of women that you are adding to the doctor's behavior for some reason, and
Now,
why would you?
I do
do
think
that?
that it
Being
was
able to
one
let go of things?
like,
No,
I do think that it was great. Almost every single episode, especially when Graham was around on the team.
yeah.
Every new person would kind of lean towards him to ask a main question,
Right,
And she's
right.
just like,
Yeah, I'm the
"Yeah,
doctor.
I'm actually the
Yeah,
doctor."
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
a
a
good
great
bit.
bit.
Oh, it was a great
Yeah.
bit.
That's a good bit.
I mean, there were a lot of good stuff, especially with Graham. Her and Graham. He was like an older guy.
He's an
He's a
old dude.
comedian in England. I forget his real name. But they were brilliant together. And they didn't write her with the swagger that she should have had.
No,
I
she
think.
had like pixie girl energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. But the new stuff is like such a return to what I want to feel when I'm watching Doctor Who, like just the vibe of the show. It was awesome. I never really watched the opening credits, but I decided of most shows, but I'm like, I got to check out, I'll usually check out the first one.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, it's so cool looking. And you see it skating through, like actually affecting the vortex. It's the
now
time
my-
vortex
It's now
kind
my
of thing.
second favorite.
Yeah, what's the favorite?
Again, Capaldi.
You're right.
His-
Okay, cool.
With the
clocks one?
actual clocks and cogs, and then it's the vortex.
Again, Opera Ghost 08 was telling me the other day that was a fan-made thing that they liked so much they contacted the fan
Ah.
and used it as the opening credits.
I love that.
Yeah.
I actually bought a T-shirt, a Paramore T-shirt, because I've never liked Paramore's swag.
Okay.
Like, I don't think the designs for any of their stuff is interesting, so I never buy it, even though I love the band.
Yeah.
And then finally, I was like,
you like it.
that's a shirt I want.
Yeah.
And then I found out it was a fan-made shirt that they were putting out.
But
Yeah.
they're into
I
it
was like,
now.
yeah,
So now it's
same thing.
you know,
Now it's an official,
an official
Paramore shirt.
That's
yeah.
great. So the TARDIS itself, the round things and the
only available
lights,
in the
it's
UK.
so bright and expensive. Now, JD, you wouldn't know remember having watched only a few of the earlier ones, but the modern TARDIS interiors, it's bigger on the inside.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So
yeah.
it's even way bigger than that room.
yeah.
Like there's like a swimming pool. There's
Oh.
like, rooms and rooms,
Yeah.
right? That you
just don't
rarely
really see, yeah.
right? So and the interior changes.
Yeah.
So in the new one, it's been much darker and organic
Yeah.
looking, especially in the Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant ones. But and I really liked those. The older ones were this more gleaming sci-fi
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of deal. I really dig it. I
Yeah.
really like
I think it
the.
looks cool.
I think the swoopy nature of it is
Mhm.
really cool. The largeness of it. I also really like that they just started showing the inside of the phone booth on the inside of the TARDIS, like the door. You know,
Yeah.
you didn't always see it that way. I like that it's the look of the police box door on the outside, but in white and black.
Yeah.
So it fits the aesthetic, but it's this cool color change inverse of what's there.
Yeah, by the way, it's stuck like that.
Yes.
I don't know.
So
Oh,
there's a
it looks
chameleon
like a-
arch that is this time machine, because it travels all around, it's like a gray cylinder on the outside, and it's supposed to blend in to its surroundings. Wherever it is, it'll just assume something that looks like that. And it was in 1960s London, so it looked like that, and the chameleon arch broke. And the doctor likes it. So he's like,
he doesn't want to fix it.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
he could fix it, but he doesn't.
Has it always been that box
Yeah.
throughout
Police
the
box.
entire show?
The
Yeah.
box subtly changes
Yeah.
over time.
It'll get more blue or less blue or a
Yeah,
little
just
taller, but it's always
different
a blue
updates.
police
Gotcha.
box.
based
Cool.
on just like set design. Like, you're
Yeah.
going to update something and maybe we won't acknowledge it, but in more
Yeah.
modern times, they're like, it changes with the doctor. And so it always looks like that. He likes it, and
go.
I like it too.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought this was great. I am much more interested in watching more Doctor Who than I was 3 hours ago.
Oh, you just watched it?
I just watched it before
very
coming
cool.
here.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
I'm so glad you liked it. I wondered
Yeah.
what your experience would be and
Mhm.
if you would be able to get into it, because it's not a new jumping on point entirely,
Yeah.
like a new Doctor often
But it
is.
worked as one.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did what it was supposed to do, which has got me kind
Awesome.
of stoked. And also hearing you guys gush about it
Yeah, yeah.
it helps a lot. I'll be honest.
Awesome.
Like, oh, they seem to like it so much.
Yeah.
So I love enthusiasm. I react enthusiastically to it.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to say before we get the hell out of here?
I'm really looking
If you're
forward.
interested
Yeah.
in buying Magic the Gathering Doctor Who Commander decks, they're available at
Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex. I also have the booster packs as well for the
Oh.
Doctor Who Magic the Gathering.
Oh.
I kind of want to crack one of those open and
Crack
play
it,
some
yeah.
Doctor Who Magic the Gathering.
I might buy I showed my wife earlier today, and she was like, "Can we just learn to play together?" I was like, "I can get you a Commander deck. We'll play."
Yeah.
I don't know how to play, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
I might pick up another one.
Nice. Also, there are comic books for Doctor Who.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Titan
Which I
Comics
have.
has all ongoing. Dan Slott just did a OGN
Mhm.
original graphic novel. There's tons of comics still coming
Yeah.
out.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will talk at you later.
Do.
Probably next Wednesday.
Bye.